So yeah, we move on to the Reds now. So when you first initially got there, I believe Sire came up with you, and you guys were breaking into a all right squad at the time. Like I think the Reds weren't on the best path at that point yet, and then you had a season. I read somewhere when I was looking at it. I think you mentioned that they basically said. I think you said in an interview. I think I was quoted. We were the worst investments Queensland Rugby has ever made.
Yeah.
And then you bounced back completely after that. Was that just fuel to the fire for you guys at that point?
Oh, you know, that first year we got up here, we left the Brumbies and they were number one Australian franchise at that time. And no one ever left the Brumbies. So for Sarah and I, born and bred in Canberra, we thought we would always pay for them. And to come to Queensland at that time, the only people in the crowd were our families. We were last. On the Super Rugby ladder, we were last or second last, and that's where we stayed around. And it was a young team. So that first year, we came up thinking we were really king shit, and we weren't. We had to do. There was a lot of hard work to be done. So being quoted, we are the worst investment in Queensland Rugby, probably still holds for the whole time we were there. But we were very lucky. We worked our butts off after that first year, and then Ewan McKenzie got appointed, and he turned things around. He gave us an opportunity, and I think Link said to me, "Don't try to be good at everything. Just focus on one thing, and whatever you're going to be good at, be the very best at."
Yeah,
so I said,
definitely.
Yeah, so I said to Link, I'm not very good at things, but I'll tackle hard and I can run hard. So let me give you those two things and see how I go. It came to selection of the first game, and Link said for the next 4 or 5 games, you're going to be my number 12. And I'll stay with you, good, bad, or whatever. Win or lose, I'll stick with you. For me, that gave me a bit of confidence.
For sure.
So I knew that, no matter how long or how bad I played, I would still get the next week. And I think your biggest fear as a player is that you get held back by, if I throw that pass, am I going to be axed the next week? So it holds you back.
You don't get to express yourself, and especially that 2011 season, that whole back line was pretty much expressing yourself. Like there was crazy cross kicks. Like there was a lot of risks taken at all times, but it worked.
And that attack coach, Jim McKay, he was the attack coach that he is now for the Queensland Reds.
Yeah.
And you can see a lot of that in the play that they're playing now. So for us, that kick across field that Quady did to Digby, that was something we practiced.
Yeah.
The kick that Hunter did on the weekend, that would have been practiced.
For sure.
So
they've just got it in their arsenal at all times.
Yeah, that's right. And it doesn't matter what's thrown at you. And people go, geez, how did you play with Quade? Well, I just had to expect the unexpected.
Yeah,
and that was
definitely.
okay. That was okay for me. I knew I'd played with him for a long time. We played club together. Yeah, he was going away for Wallabies, and he may have got off the bench, and they said, "Oh, mate, you don't need to play." Quady would come back so we could play South together.
Yeah.
So for us, we just loved playing our rugby as a backline, and as players. It was just so enjoyable to play club rugby, or premiership rugby.
Yeah, and you just build that chemistry completely within it.
So we had some really good coaching staff that looked after us as outside of rugby as well. So I think all of that really creates a really good culture, as well as a team that wants to play. We had guys towards that 212, 213, taking pay cuts to stay at the Reds.
Yep.
Because they wanted to keep the team together.
For sure.
So that's the kind of team that we created, and we were so young and we were quite successful. But the year before, 2 years before, you would have asked who Quade Cooper was, or who Digby, or Kevy or James, or any of those guys, and you go, oh geez, I don't really know. And it's a bit like the Reds. And then
that happened with me at Quade. I remember seeing Quade down at Jeeps one time, because I played at Jeeps when I was a junior, and I remember because my dad used to play for the Reds, and he knew one of the boys there. I think Quade had to go out there that arvo, and no one knew who he was, and someone was like, "Oh, yeah, get his autograph. He's going to be the next big thing." And I was like, "Oh yeah, whatever." Got him to sign my school shirt at the time, and then 2 years later, he's absolutely killing it.
Yeah, and it was, that's right. 2 years later, the team plays really well, and without Quade, the backline doesn't function. Without Will or Digby, everyone had their own positions and everyone knew what they had to do. It wasn't just, you needed someone to do the grunt work.
Yeah.
Digby was there. Digby acted like another forward. So really, instead of having 8 forwards, you had 9 because Digby would do the pick and goes. He was the backline runner. He was the guy that when nothing went right or you needed some momentum, let's give it to Digby. He had the strongest legs, and we used to call him, he's called the ass man because he doesn't have an ass, but he's built like he's the hardest guy to tackle.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you're exactly right. And he's what a lot of wingers should really look at is just getting involved. Like you can very easily get stuck out on the wing and not get involved, but he'd be looking for the ball as much as possible.
That's right. And then you have the other winger, Rod Davies, who's just lightning quick.
Wheels, yeah.
So we had 2 different kind of players, and then we had Will Chambers. People forget that Will Chambers was a part of that team.
Reds. Yeah, I know.
We had Ben Tapawai. We had John O'Lance that was playing 10, that we had playing as a fullback. And we were using him we're using Quade as a quarterback.
Yeah.
So essentially, Quade would attack at number 10 and then defend at 15.
Yeah, exactly.
So we sort of played we played a bit of NFL. And I can remember the defensive coach now for the Wallabies. We played a lot of. It was I was the roaming centre, so I could go anywhere. So from line out, my whole job in that grand final was to smash Brad Thorne and to get to Sonny Bill. So we knew they were the key go-to men off the back of the lineouts. So I could roam the back line. As soon as the ball came off, I was independent of the whole line.
Yep. So
if you watch me,
your license, you're just shooting it out.
Yeah. So I had
decimate someone.
So I had a license to dive at people's knees.
The ACL collector.
That's it. So I was. You see me flying from 13. So I used to have to blindside because they were so big.
Yeah.
So I was blindsiding the guys from the side, or coming from 10, or coming from blind winger, or coming from 10, coming from the wing, wherever I could, just to And I remember watching, knowing exactly whose shoulder would turn. If it was Sonny, when he was getting a ball, he would preempt where he was going. Thorny used to come out a little bit later, so I knew when he was coming out. So I would duck to 13 and blindside him. But it was just, they're the memories that I take from those games.
For sure.